Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on our free-to-play account, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the Arena of Heroes in relationship to the Treasure Scramble. So now overall, I didn't have a chance to log in and actually start the Treasure Scramble, but there is a guide that is super free-to-play friendly, especially when it comes to alternate heroes, when it comes to changing it up within the guide. I want to share this with you so you can have it, bookmark it, make sure you have it available. So let's take a look at it. All right, guys, so here is the Treasure Scramble Ice Debuff Guide by the AFK guys. That is right, guys, huge shout out for them. I will put a link down below so you can check it over on Reddit. Like I said, bookmark it, make sure you know exactly where it is. But let's go ahead and we're gonna zoom into this, guys, and take a look at these team comps. Now, like I said earlier, super free to play friendly, which I love. There are a ton of subs in here, so it is really very dependent on the heroes that you have built. And you also notice a lot of these subs that you do have in here, there is a core competency that really makes this work, which is the reason why it's effective. So players looking in here, you have Joan of Arc, you have Rem, and you have Damia. Now Damia, of course, with the cheat death, allowing Rem to do an incredible amount of damage in this formation. And we also do have the Rock Lizard up here or the Winged Lion. But if you are missing Ezio or the Awakened version of Sophia, you can see these are the team comps that you actually want to be running in these formations. We can even zoom it in a little bit more, guys. But looking at this, if you have Yennefer, Damia, Lavatoon, if you do have the Awakened version of Solus, there's a lot of variations of heroes that you can run within the Rem comp. That is going to work incredibly well. And again, it's going to be very specific on what heroes you do have built within there. Similar to, like I said, with the free-to-play account, there's a lot of heroes that I do have built. There's some that unfortunately I do not have, like even in this case, I do not have Ezio, guys, so I actually put Damia in here. I could also put Silas in here, and you also know that Vika is in here as well. But overall works very well. Now the Awakened version of Solus and Joan of Arc, I do have both of those, which do really round out this team. Damia I have, Rem I have, Joan of Arc I have. So this team, definitely a one that I'm running within the current version of the Treasure Scramble. Number two, we look at the dim comp. Now this, of course, guys, very strong when it comes to Albedo, when it comes to Mulan, when it comes to Emilia. They work incredibly well in synergy together. And even looking here at the subs, I actually run Brutus in this formation. Works incredibly well. We do have Merlin, but you can use Robin Hood in here or Joan. Joan, of course, I recommend within the first one. And then if you do not have Mulan, you can see Yennefer is in there again, as some other variations in here. Overall with this formation, Yennefer was actually the one that was in there, I believe, before Mulan. And then, of course, there are some variations down here, even running a budget version of the Ainz comp. That is right, Ainz and Albedo making a precedence in here. But again, if you don't have the heroes built, guys, you have to utilize what you have. The further that you build them out, the better they're going to perform. But overall, if you do not have a lot of these heroes, there are going to have to be kind of a give and take. And of course, that is going to be the percentage for the win percentage. So looking at the Awakened version of Shamira. Now, Shamira, of course, went to the SSS when it comes to the tier list. Incredibly versatile unit, guys. Of course, looking in here, if you do not have the Awakened version of Shamira, because she is the core in this formation, there's a lot of variations as we get down here, guys. But even looking, if you're running Matria, you can see Kanisa and Rook in there, as well as a few other ones. And Robin Hood's being filled in quite a few places in here. There is a budget version, as you can see right here. This is one that we've used before for the budget version. So actually running Zolrath in there, which again, we don't really see very much, but also using Oden, Pharrell, and Silas. The combination of those three heroes do work incredibly well. And then, of course, this is the Matria version. So with Matria and that SP effect, you can see that Leica is in here. Even if you didn't have Leica, guys, if you drop another hypo in there, I know a lot of players were running Mortis in there, but if you have another hypo in there, even running Lucilla in there would work incredibly well based on the formations. Now you also see, guys, that Lady Simona is in here. I've actually seen her run in a couple Treasure Scramble comps from some of the leaderboards, some of the whales that were running her in a combination. And then, of course, we do have Lavatoon in here with the Shroom Spooter, and we also do have, which I wouldn't recommending, using this Vespero right at the very end for the Beast. Now, looking at the Alna Seal. Now, interesting enough, guys, this is probably one of the teams that I have seen the highest win rate percentage which again is kind of crazy. So Ulna and Thorin in this core. Now, a lot of players do not run Ulna in this formation. They run a couple different formations or run some variations in here. And you can see subbing in here with that SP effect that we do have of Baden, and we do run Flora. So Flora is the one that I run in here in place of Ulna, and that, of course, the Seal. Now with this, guys, you're really triggering the damage of the Seal and the ultimate ability that the Seal does have. That is going to be the primary damage dealer within this formation. And again, I save Ulna PvP-wise for another formation, which does work incredibly well. You can see the Ulna less variate. So actually dropping Ulna out and putting Baden in there. If you don't have Baden, there's a couple other variations. Flora, you have Edwin in here. There's a few other ones that you can put in here, but overall, guys, works incredibly well within the formation. So moving to our bottom left, this is the Awakened Thane. Now, of course, the Awakened version of Thane, PvP-wise, it is what he was built for, guys. He is a monster when it comes to PvP. Other game modes, not seeing a lot of effectiveness, but overall, you can see we have some of the like OG comps, because even looking in here, guys, you have Vathiel, which is going to provide a lot of buffing. You have Naruko, which is going to provide a lot of buffing. Lucilla, of course, the crowd control, a lot of the CC and the resurrectability, as well as Liberta in here for the damage. Then you can see, guys, even some of the older Lightbearer teams that we ran within the formation, running the Awakened version of Athelia in here instead of Thane, but also running Mulan in here, but looking at Sonya, looking at Guineas, even looking at Jerome, Hendrik. We have a couple in here, again, that we've seen kind of once upon a time through the Awakened version of Thane. As we continue to get new heroes released, it seems like we're building them up a little bit different. Now, the Awakened version of Belinda, this again is one of the highest win percentage within PvP, especially because now you add a Jerome in there. A lot of players do not add the original version of Aziz, but I do sometimes see Lavatune in there just to really buff this up. But again, the PvP aspect is a little bit different than you're running in different formations. And then we have the Fox Fatale and the Rock Lizard is what I usually see within here. But you can see, guys, I swapped, again, the free-to-play. I dropped Rowan in here because I do not have Jerome. Now, Palmer I have, Rain and Aziz, I have the rest of those, which kind of fill out the formation, making it work incredibly well. Number 7, we look at the Solus. So if you didn't use the Awakened version of Solus, and overall, guys, I do not have Tarnos. Even on the YouTube account, I've never built Tarnos. So I have swapped in Vathiel, I have swapped in Mishka. Both of them do work incredibly well in formations, especially because we have Vathiel actually in a couple other formations. So again, it works very, very well. And of course, the Awakened version of Leica, you do get the 5 buff in here if you're running a Celestial, which is very cool to see. But they have a delay coming in for Neve and, of course, for Solus. The Awakened version of Solus in here. Cameras in here for the crowd control. We also have Naruko. We also have Vika in here if you got to sub those in. And then changes a lot of the comp if you're putting Damon in there, or excuse me, Baden in there, or if you're putting the Awakened version of Athelia. Subs switch position. So this would actually be a change position with him. And then no Awakened version of Solus. This is the Leica Burst. Now we have seen this formation again quite a bit. You can see they swapped to the Owl in here, but it does work incredibly well within the formation. Then, of course, looking at the bonus team, guys, the old school, that is right, the Awakened version of Brutus Invade team. This one still does work incredibly well, especially with the addition of Naruko. Naruko is, of course, a damage dealer, a buffer, a crowd controller, a healer. Literally, the tiny tank can do pretty much anything that we have within AFK Arena, and she does it incredibly well, especially if you're fighting a summon team with Nadia. Nadia is, of course, going to buff up, making her very, very hard to kill. But ultimately, it is a big distraction when you have that giant worm that is in there, which is really cool to see. And again, this is a team that we use quite a bit of time. Even looking here, you do have a lot of defensive bonuses when you look at having Anasta in there and, of course, having Scrag within the evade. Scrag is the real trigger. And then this entire team will go on the enemy side, which is going to be huge for the invade. Personally, I love running Talisman. Talisman, of course, works incredibly well when you're fighting Graveborn and when you're fighting the Hypo heroes in there to really build this out, guys. So a really, really in-depth, cool guide. And again, these type of guides, we don't see them very much, but especially, again, if you're not running literally every single hero within the AFK Arena, that you can go ahead and just copy comps from some of the top players, making it super easy. You have to have the ability to sub in different heroes depending on who you have built. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Big shout out again to the AFK guys. I love the content they're putting out. The link will be down below, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.